Oh shit! Got him! We got a guy! I gotta run!
Just do it. Just drink, 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 drink.
Cheers and welcome to Beer and Headshots. I am J-Bar and today we are reviewing the Katwalk C VR gaming treadmill. This is the first personal VR gaming treadmill to hit the market and I've had it for about a week now. So in this video, I want to talk about how we set it up, how we use it, and some of my first impressions since I've had it. I do also want to say that I am in no way sponsored by Cat VR. I am just a VR enthusiast who wants to feel like I'm in Ready Player One.
You don't need a destination when you're running on an omnidirectional treadmill.
So now with that out of the way, I would like to talk about the buying experience. So let's jump into it. So here I want to go over some important information that you would want to know before purchasing a Katwalk C for yourself. On the Cat VR website, you actually have to place a form when you're looking to buy one of these, and then they get back to you with where to purchase. For me, they sent me to noxlabs.com, which looks like a VR accessory and equipment distributor. And I had no issues when buying from here, but just wanted to let you know that, and I will have this product page in the description below. One of the first things you'll notice is that hefty price tag of $1,749. So as this is pretty new technology in the VR world when it comes to a consumer grade VR treadmill. I mean, I think the price is pretty fair. Obviously, as we get new generations of VR treadmills, we would hope that the price goes down just like with the VR headsets. But for now, this is what it costs. And make sure that you always keep an eye out on the Cat VR website, as I have seen this go on sale for 20-30%. At certain times. So if we're around a holiday or anything, you might be able to get a better deal on it. So as we look at this website, there's a couple of things I do want to point out. For supported headsets, the Cat VR supports all of the main VR headsets that you can get out there. It essentially just needs to work through Steam VR or through PC VR in general. So with your Oculus Quests or the Oculus Quest 2s, those can be used, but they need to be used through Oculus Link or virtual desktop. Otherwise it will not work with the standalone version. And now they have also announced that this can be compatible with the PSVR via the Cat Pi System adapter here. So this is another added price of $120, but apparently this does make this compatible with PSVR. There is nothing here that mentions if this will be compatible with the new PSVR that has been announced, but obviously that might come up down the road, and that is something you would want to check with Cat VR on before purchasing, if that is something you're planning on using it for. Another couple of things that are rather important here: the max weight allowed for this is 286.5 pounds, and the recommended or supported user height I'll actually go off of. For the standard size, it goes up to 5.9 feet, or as low as 5.29 feet, or 25 feet, excuse me. And it goes for the large version up to 6.5 feet, about down to 5.9 feet. So keep in mind to check that and make sure that you're getting the right size Katwalk for what you are. It doesn't change the price at all. I had to go with the large because I am 5'11" and about 210 pounds, so I had to go with that. Yeah, it does fit great. I haven't had any issues with the way that I fit on it. Lastly, one thing to point out here is the Cat VR shoe size scale. You want to make sure you're getting the shoes that will fit your feet, obviously. Otherwise, you're going to either run out of them or they'll be too tight and very uncomfortable. So make sure you are following these instructions to a T, just to make sure you have the best experience when you get it. All right, and then we are going to go over to the Cat VR support page. So this is on the Cat VR website, and the reason I wanted to show you this is because I will not be going into all of the boring details about how to install this thing and how to set it up, as their site here has some very good instructions. They've got video instructions as well as a user manual and a very extensive FAQ down here on the bottom, as you can see. So pretty much any questions that you have about this or how it works or how to install it are answered here. So I don't want to be redundant and go over that. One thing I will show you is how my installation went for this. It took me about 30 minutes total, and that was with me neurotically checking the instructions every 5 seconds because that's who I am, even though I watched the installation video about 100 times before I got the thing. So just keep that in mind. If you're pretty competent with setting anything up, this will not be difficult, and they provide all of the tools that you need to set it up. So from here, let's check out how my install went and talk about that a little bit more. So here you will see a time lapse of me putting the Katwalk seat together. And like I just said, this is a very simple process. If you watch the video a couple times and have the instructions on hand, you really shouldn't have any issues with it here. The accessory box they give you comes with all the tools you need, as all the way down to those white gloves that you see me using, which was a kind of a nice touch. It just helps prevent you dinging or fingerprinting anything up. The only thing I might note here is the screws were rather slippery when I was trying to hold on to them with the gloves, so I dropped screws a few times, but obviously they're easy to find. Just be careful when you're trying to hold on to them if you are getting one of these and setting it up. But from here, I'll let you finish watching the setup, and we will be right back with you. And we're done. At this point, take a drink to celebrate. Now let's try this thing out. So here you see me getting the shoes on. I take a little extra time here just because it's my first time really getting them fit onto my feet. It's probably a good idea to make sure that all the bungees are tight, everything's fitting good, everything is snug. That way you don't run out of them when you're on this thing. But I've had no issues with the sizing. It matched my exact size perfectly. Another thing to note here is that each shoe has a anti-slip strap that goes over the heel. That's what you want to have on when you're getting on the Katwalk and getting off of it, just to prevent any slipping and possible injury. So I do make sure those are on every time, and I have no issues with those either. I feel rather secure getting on and getting off. And at this point, we are strapping in. I think I get a little confused, but I definitely get used to this. This is my first time strapping it on. So there's a couple of different harnesses where you kind of do one strap over you and then the other one on top of that, which Velcros on, and then the extra two straps. These are the two that you pull together, or pull outward, which kind of tightens the whole thing. And you want it kind of tight, as that's what kind of helps keep your back straight, and it makes the walking feel a bit better compared if it was loose. So once you have these on, the last and final Velcro straps, there's a buckle that gets buckled in there, and that's kind of your safety strap from the looks of it. So nothing too hard. Once you do this a couple times, it gets really easy, and I've had no issues since. And once I feel stable on here, I take off those anti-slip straps on the heels, and trying to follow their first use video to the best of my ability, I kind of just get my bearings here, kind of understand how slippery it is, and now we start to walk. So walking actually felt a lot more comfortable right away than I thought it would. And they have these few different friction levels, as you see in the graphic here. So I'm on novice, which just means that both of the Velcro cloth straps that are on the bottom that add more friction are still on. And since it doesn't take me too long at all to get used to this walking on the novice setting, I do decide to stop here and take off that top strap so I go down to the standard user setting. And from there, again, kind of do the same steps where I just get used to it and I kind of pick up the speed a bit to see how that feels. So at this point I get comfortable enough with the Katwalk to start doing a bit of a jog on it. You do see that my footing kind of stops every now and then, and that is just because of the friction level that's on here. So after a little bit, I do end up taking both the Velcro straps off, essentially skipping the experienced user part of this and going to just the VR veteran friction setting, just so I could see how easy it is to run. And for the most part, it feels really good to run on this when you have no friction. I feel like I can be fast. I don't feel like I'm going to fall off at any point. I feel rather secure and safe on it. I will say though, the one thing I've done as I've started playing more games with the Katwalk is I've gone back to the experienced user friction level, because it does provide a little bit more control. When you have really the least amount of friction on this thing, until I feel like you get a bit more used to the way that you need to move on it, I do feel like my feet were kind of slipping to the sides instead of just staying straight like you normally would when you're running. So far I've stayed on the experienced user setting, but in the future I do plan on switching full on to VR veteran and seeing how it goes from there. And to show you how we get off, you just want to take that heel anti-slip strap and bring it down over that plastic piece on the bottom of the shoe. Once that's done, I've done this a bunch of times now, it feels pretty secure to walk around on top of the thing. So you should be safe at this point to unbuckle, unstrap, and step right off. So real quick here, I want to show you the sensors and the shoes up close before we take a look at some gameplay while I talk about some of the things that I've really liked about the Katwalk C so far, and maybe some things that I think could be improved on, or that I'm still kind of figuring out and hoping gets better as I use it a bit more. So take a look at one of the sensors here. This is my right sensor. So once you have it synced up, the light here over here indicates which shoe it's for. So when I'm looking at it like this, it's on the right side, so I know it's for the right shoe. And to put it on the shoe, there's a little clip here, so you just kind of slide it on. All right, there we go. So once it's on there, you just push it down, then it's on. I've never felt like this was gonna fall off or anything like that. It's pretty sturdy. And then you can just pop it off when you're ready to go charge it again. And it does say on the documentation that these sensors last for about 7 hours, which to me has been plenty of time for using the Katwalk. So those are pretty simple. The shoes here, as you can see, are pretty standard. Nothing crazy about them. As long as you get the right size, then they fit great for me, and they felt great. Haven't had any issues there. And then here's the Velcro straps that you want to rip off once you start getting a bit more used to it. I do feel like these straps are wearing down pretty good. However, after using the Katwalk for just a couple of weeks, I have felt a lot more comfortable just not having these on at all. So I really don't think that they need to have that much longevity to them. Just because after a while you'll feel pretty good with it and you won't need them anymore. So those are a good look at the shoes and the sensors. Now let's move on to see some of my gameplay in games like Population 1 and Contractors, and we'll talk some more. Let's go. I love my VR shooters, so right now I have the most experience in games like Population 1 and Contractors. However, I do plan on making more videos in the future that highlights gameplay in other games. Keep in mind you can also catch me live using the Katwalk on Twitch at twitch.tv/beerandheadshots every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday at 8 p.m. Central Time. We also have a great community on Discord of like-minded VR friends who get together once a month for VR community nights, and if you want to be a part of that and any other events that I put on, I will make sure the link to my Discord is in the description below, along with the link to my Twitch channel. The Katwalk is definitely something that you need to use for a while before you get fully comfortable with it, but I can tell you after about a week or two of using it, I was already feeling really immersed and just really enjoying myself in any of the games that I've played. In games like Population 1, Contractors, or anything else where you might be doing a lot of running over a period of time, the settings in the Cat Gateway software allow you to kind of tweak your walking running speed, so you can kind of match it to the game or even set it a bit higher if you don't want to have to actually be running for hours at a time, which is something that I like to do in games like Population 1 here, just to make sure that I don't get gassed after about an hour of gameplay. You could say one downside to using a VR treadmill in competitive VR games is that you are fighting against your own stamina, which is true, but once you start getting good with it and really feeling yourself, it feels amazing to get those wins. And if you are interested in the fitness aspects of the Katwalk C, I can tell you that prior to using it, I was burning maybe about 200 to 400 calories per stream, but now that I have it, I burn easily around 1,000 calories per stream, which is quite an increase, and you can definitely feel it. Some of the only downsides I've ran into is I'm still trying to get used to the strafing and backpedaling mechanics. I haven't really gotten those perfected yet, but once I do, I plan on maybe sending out another video that kind of showcases how I do it and maybe some tips on how to do it consistently. Also, since I'm using a wired headset, the Valve Index, even with a pulley system, if I end up turning too much in one direction, which is really easy to do when you're in games like this, it does get kind of bundled up, twisted up above my head, and every now and then I have to take the headset off and unwind it, but that's really not a fault of the Katwalk. And other than that, I really haven't had anything to complain about with it. It really takes the immersion levels in these games off the charts, and it's just so satisfying to use and to play on. If you do end up having any questions for me, or if there's any certain content around the Katwalk that you'd like to see, please comment below, or feel free to hop into my stream or Discord and ask any questions that you may have. I really hope that you enjoyed this video and learned something, and maybe if this piqued your interest, feel free to let me know that as well in the comments below, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. We will see you next time. Cheers.